Hey everyone, welcome to Mental Health Monday. Real quick, we're going to dive into Isaiah, the book of Isaiah, chapter 40 and verse 26. And I just want to start our day with this because it says, "Look up into the heavens. Who created all the stars? He brings them out like an army, one after another, calling each by name. Because of his great power and incomparable strength, not a single one is missing." And so often when we've talked, I talk about changing our perspective and getting outside even and looking up as God told Abram to do when he got frustrated. God said to Abram, "Look up and count the stars as if you can. So great shall your number of descendants be." So when I was reading this the other day, that look up into the heavens, in other words, shift your perspective, shift your focus, shift what you're gazing at. Then the question, who created all this? Who did all this? Who's responsible for all this? Certainly not a big bang or evolution or any of the other theories out there. There is one God, one creator God. And it's interesting because he brings them out like an army, one after the other. He has a name for each one. We talk about, oh, name your star, pay this much, name your star. God has a name for each one of them. That just fascinates me. And then, his great power and his incomparable strength, not a single one is missing. So when we look up there and there's stars that we can't see depending on where we're at and what the weather conditions are like, but God sees it all and not a single one is missing. And it goes on from there and it says, "Oh, Jacob, how can you say the Lord does not see your troubles? Oh, Israel, how can you say God ignores your rights?" I could put my name in there. "Oh, Ruth, how can you say the Lord does not see your troubles? Oh, Ruth, how can you say God ignores your rights?" It goes on in verse 28, it says, "Have you never heard? Have you never understood? The Lord is the everlasting God, the creator of all the earth. He never grows weak or weary. No one can measure the depths of his understanding." I often try to fit God in the size of my own head, the size of my own understanding. And yet, this reminds all of us just how mighty he is. It goes on, verse 29 says, "He gives power to the weak and strength to the powerless. Even youth become weak and tired. Young men fall from exhaustion. But, I love that word, but those who trust in the Lord will find new strength." Many of us know what follows this. It says, "They will soar high on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not faint." So as I read this, like my spirit just began to soar, my heart began to sing, and it was so encouraging. And whatever you're going through today, again, that's Isaiah 40, and it's verse 26 to the end. And I just think it's so powerful. I would encourage you to grab it, read it in a few versions, verse map through it. I read it to you out of the New Living Translation, but just begin to work through it and see what the Lord speaks to you today. Because when we talk about our mental health, focus, what we're gazing on, what we're taking in is really, really important for any mental health struggle, anything that we're dealing with. This is really important. And so I just want to encourage you to make some space today, not just to listen to me, but to actually go into this and take a look at it for yourself and begin to verse map it. And what we do when we verse map is we look it up in three different translations, we write it out, and then we begin to highlight what the Holy Spirit highlights to us and allow the Lord to speak through that and just allow it to go into the very core of our being, to meditate it, to chew on it, if you will. And so again, tonight, may you look up into the heavens. May you look at those stars as they come out one after another, and may you see the heavenly army, so to say, the analogy that's used here. May you be reminded of the Lord's great power and his strength, and that he sees your troubles and he knows exactly what you're going through. My friend, you're not alone. And then the promise at the end, "But those who trust in the Lord, trust in the Lord. Trust in him. You'll find that new strength. You will soar high on the wings of eagles. You're going to run and not grow weary. I just love it. And walk and not faint. So may your day be filled with the glory, the majesty, the wonder of the Lord. And just as we wrap up again, if you want to learn more about the ministry, you can check out either one of our sites. You can check out ruthhendrickson.com or you can check out mashahministry.com, Mashah. And Mashah is our emotional healing and deliverance arm. And you know what? If you are struggling, really check out the Mashah page because there's some testimonies on there. There's things that will really encourage you. And we have a team that ministers all around the world, and they would be wherever you're at. They would be so delighted, so blessed, so honored to minister to you and just help you join your hand to the Lord and find that strength and the ability to run and not grow weary, to walk and not faint, and to soar with Him because you were created to soar. Have a great day and be so blessed.